Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and we're going to do some geolocation stuff today. So there's a geolocation API for the browser where I'm sure you've seen this before. A website will ask, can we get your location or something like that. And if you allow them to get your location, then usually they use that to tell you either what's the weather near you, or what events are near you, or maybe get you directions to somewhere. So in this case, we want to get the location of the user and then compare it to the location of our events, and then order our events from those that are closest to those that are farthest away. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that about 12 minutes ago the power went out here. So if everything just gets cut off, the power probably went out again. So there are big thunderstorms happening right now. So hopefully it won't happen again. But if it does, I'll try to get restarted and get back on as soon as I can. I've never had a stream cut out in the middle, so I'm not even sure if I can join the same stream again or not. I'm thinking yes. Because I wouldn't have actually clicked the button to stop the stream. It'll just say like I've lost connection. So as long as I get the computer up and running and start OBS again to start streaming, should be good to go. So also I want to acknowledge the contributions that you all have made. So a lot of people contribute in the live chat and are very helpful. But then also I've had some people contribute directly to the repository for the site we've been working on. So Vinay and Danny and Fabian, or I thought about it the other day, since you're from France, it's probably not pronounced Fabian, so Fabien, I'm not sure. Let me know if you're watching. So anyway, thanks so much for these contributions, and feel free to contribute. I started putting some issues in the repo, so I'm gonna try to remember to put the issues in here. And maybe if you've never contributed to a repository before, some of these are gonna be pretty easy, some more in depth, but maybe it'll get you some practice in how to contribute. And certainly nobody feel obligated to contribute. This is definitely, the project is completely my responsibility, but I know sometimes it's intimidating to try to submit pull requests to projects, so this might be a nice small project to get a feel for how you do it. And if you need any help, let me know and I could try to walk you through it. And if you submit a pull request and it's not exactly what I need, no big deal. I'll just let you know what needs changed, and you make the changes and submit it again. I'm not going to be upset if you submit a bunch of pull requests. I'm happy for the assistance. So anyway, let's get started. Let me move this out of here because we won't need it right now. So here's the steps that I was just kind of thinking in the last few minutes before I started this video, what we need to do. We need to add, let me know if this is too small. I think this is the same font size we had yesterday. I don't think I messed with it, so if it was okay yesterday, it should still be good. We need to add a map field to the nearby event custom post type. So that's going to show up in WordPress. So let me show you this here. I actually already added it, but I didn't add in an API key, and I need to. So that's why this isn't working right now. So that step is partially finished. Once that's in place, we'll fill out some data in there so we have something coming in through the API. And then we need to prompt the user for their location. That's the part we'll use the geolocation API, which I had open somewhere, but after I had to restart my computer from the power outage, all my windows are in different places, so I'll try to find it. It might actually be faster to just search for it again because I have so many windows open. After that, we need to compare the user's location to the event location. So this should be, we'll have the latitude and longitude for both of these. Then we're going to show the events. We're going to put the closest events that are closest to the user first, and then go from there to those are farthest away. The last one I think is just wishful thinking, and that's end the stream on time, which rarely ever happens, but I'm going to try. So I was in a little bit earlier than normal this morning, so I really don't want to be here super late. And I also work through my lunch break, so I can definitely get out of here. I could probably leave now and be fine, but I want to do the stream. So I'm going to check the live chat and just say hello to everybody before we get started. Hey everyone. Azar says hello from Mars. Hi. Sam says, I enjoy that these are becoming a more daily thing. Yeah, it's intended to be a daily thing, at least Monday through Friday. But there were some times when I couldn't stream because either I was sick or occasionally the stream time changes because I have meetings. But basically, yeah, it should be pretty much every day if I can. Hey, Nodi's back. How's it going? Says second time on the streams. And Nodi asked, does Jesse like to HTML, CSS, JS, beginner kind of stuff? Yes, I do like to do that. So if you're more like at the beginner level and you're looking at this like this is over my head, we're at the end of a project. So at the beginning of this project, if you go back and watch some of the first recordings, it'll be way more beginner level. Now we're to the end, so we've already taken a lot of those little steps, and now we have something a lot more complex. So it's hard to jump in at this point, although I'm still going to try to explain things as best I can. So hopefully, no matter what level you're at, you'll still get something out of it. As soon as I'm done with this project, I'll jump into another project, and that'll be like starting all over again. So I always try to do something new or something better, or try a new tool or something. So each project will be a little bit different, but it's going to be like a cycle of going back to the basics of setting up a site and then building on that. So if it's a little bit over your head right now, don't worry. Give it a week or so. I'll be done with this site, and then we'll be right back to some basic stuff. I am also going to put some videos on my personal channel that are going to be more like really basic level tutorial videos. And I have some outlines and some notes ready for those. It's just a matter of finding a little bit of time where it's quiet enough at my house or some time at work to just do those videos. Okay. All right, great. Rohan says font size is good, and also asks Google Maps API. Yeah, so I'm going to be using the Google Maps API at the very least within WordPress here to pull up a Google map, and basically what I want, so you can see this right now, the content editor comes in here, fills out the title of the event, the date, and then the displayed date, which if you're not sure why I have two different dates here, check out yesterday's episode, and I explain why I needed the date in two different formats here. And they fill out this basic info. But now, in addition to the location, and this is how it will actually display, I also want them to put the location in here. If they search and type in the location here, then it should, on the API end, it'll come out with some data, probably multiple fields, but one of those fields will contain the latitude and longitude, and that's what I need. So that's where I'm going to use the Google Maps API here. And then we'll see for this step, compare the user location to event location. I may need to use some sort of API. So I don't really know what the best API is. I did a little bit of research beforehand. So if you all have experience with this, let me know what you think. I'm also thinking a really kind of fast way to do this potentially could be to just do some comparisons with just the raw latitude and longitude. Potentially, it might be possible to just do some basic math comparing the latitude and longitude of the event to the user location, and then be able to give a rough kind of estimate of distance from the user. So this, these aren't going to be pinpoint locations. They're just going to be the general location of a city. So it doesn't need to be like super exact. So if you have any ideas for that as well, let me know. We'll get into that more when we get to this step though, and then see what the best way to do this would be. If you're just joining for the first time, I will say these aren't tutorials. This is me just doing my daily work. So that's why I'm saying things like, I don't really know what we're going to do. Let's try it. Because that's my work. I know I want to do this. This part of the website is arguably going to be the most useful part of the site to our users. And I think this feature in particular will be the most useful feature of this part of the site, this nearby events part. So I know I want it, I know how I want it to work, and I just need to figure out how to make it work with all of you helping. All right, let's see. Just had a bunch of stuff in the live chat, so I just want to check it out very quickly, and this will give you a few minutes too to think about these steps and these questions. Philip says, I'm a self-taught coder and I just recently stumbled on your site. Best self-learning resource ever. Wow, I'm glad you think that. Awesome. And thanks for saying that. I love comments like that. It keeps me going and keeps me thinking that this is a worthwhile thing to do. So I really appreciate that. YSM23 says, hi, I am new here. Hey, welcome to the channel. Ask any questions if you're confused about what's going on. The people in the live chat are super helpful and knowledgeable, and I also try to get to all the questions as well. Sometimes I don't get to them till the end of the stream. If you can't stick around to the end of the stream, just direct message me on Twitter or something, and I can answer your question later on. So, but welcome. SM says, how would you recommend learning React? The freeCodeCamp course doesn't have much on it yet. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't have much on it yet. I would say like tutorial videos are nice. The React documentation itself, like the basic React website, has a pretty good kind of walkthrough for React. And I think Codecademy has a React course now for free. I vaguely remember taking that course a while back when it first came out. So that's my best advice. And check out some of the earlier videos when we just started this project. It'll maybe get you a good idea of how to get started, and then you can mess around with it. And that's kind of the best way, really, is use something to jumpstart a project, and then so you can actually start changing things and see what happens. So, and I'm sure some of you all that are watching probably have some great resources too. So please put that in the live chat as well, or in the comments to this video. Kolak asks, this is React Native, right? No, it's just regular React, not React Native yet. I'd love to do something with React Native at some point if I can. I don't have any projects coming up at my job that will need React Native anytime soon, so it might have to be a side project. Yeah, Kolak says, so what's the scope of this project? Run React on WordPress? Yeah, basically, WordPress is the content management, and it exists on a separate server, and then we use the WordPress API to pull in all the content into a React site that has server-side rendering, and it runs on a totally different server, running Node and React. We actually have Nginx running as well. Yeah, Rohan is asking, are we doing browser location or IP based? We're going to do the browser location. Sam says Google Maps has a shortest path map, so yeah, maybe that might be the best thing to do. All right, I think that's it for. I really, at the beginning, I want to see if there's anybody new that has any questions to kind of get them in. I don't want them to leave and think they're being ignored and leave. So, so I'm gonna check out. So Kolak asks, why use a separate React site for pulling content from WordPress? If you can stick around to towards the end, I will answer that in depth. For now, I'm sure a few of the people in the live chat that have heard me say this a couple of times can fill you in. So if somebody wants to take that on and fill him in really quick, I'll get started. But I'll definitely answer you at the end, give a more full explanation. And then if you get a chance to watch some of the past videos, I do explain it kind of as I'm going, what I'm doing. But let's get started. So first things first, let's get this thing working. So we need to get an API key for Google Maps. So let me look up. Like I said, the power went out and now my windows are in the wrong places. So I had a lot of this documentation ready, and now I don't know where it is. Maybe I did just close it out. But so let's try this. Let's see. ACF map field. There we go. Alright, so I'm using the plugin Advanced Custom Fields, and that just helps me make these custom fields a lot faster than I would be able to if I was doing it in like a custom plugin with PHP, just because I'm not great with PHP. So if you're not awesome at PHP, I recommend using something like this. So let's see. Here we go. So API key. Alright, looks like I will have to edit some PHP. So, oh well, I guess so. I guess I can't get around it here. So, unexpectedly, we'll be doing a little PHP today. A little WordPress PHP. This doesn't look too difficult. We're saying put this in the functions.php file. I kind of don't want to put it in functions.php. We do already have our custom plugin. I'd hate to throw it in with that, but it somewhat fits in there because that plugin is creating custom post types, and this is just enabling a field for one of those custom post types that we're already creating. So it may make sense to put that in there. I just always hate to edit functions.php directly, especially since we're not really using any of the functions for the themes right now, since we're just using the API. So yeah, we'll try to put this in our plugin that we edited. I don't know, maybe sometime last week we were editing that. So anyway, let's get the API key first. And get a key. I kind of think that I already have gotten the key before. New project, CI, create and enable API. All right, awesome. All right, so yeah, definitely. You can all see this API key right now, so don't go crazy with it. Um, and this is probably a great idea to restrict its usage. So let's do that as well since I'm putting it on YouTube. And we want it to only come from, let me think. This will probably be coming from the WordPress install. So this will be Geolocation.com, and I'm not exactly sure where the rest of that will be. So I'm going to save that. Hopefully I did that right and it will work. If we try to use this API key and it doesn't work, then maybe I'll come back here and take out that restriction, because it's possible I messed that up and that will mess up us trying to use the API. So now let's go back and see. We need to put this in here. Let's throw that API key in right here so I don't lose it in case I accidentally copy something else. And let me grab. So if you remember the last time we were editing this plugin, this PHP plugin, I didn't get FTP working. So it was supposed to be set up so that I could use SSH or FTP to get into that server. I didn't set up the server, but I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I couldn't get in. So I ended up just doing this, which, oops, I'm gonna have to make this bigger. So I'll end up going to the plugins, and where's mine at? Going to edit, and just copy and pasting this, which I know this like makes me sad to do this, but at this point, especially since we're streaming, this will be way faster than trying to figure out why I can't get into the server a more sensible way. So I'm just going to put this over here, and I'm going to grab this, and put this, let's see, I want to make sure I put it looks like I can just put it at the very bottom but still inside this PHP. Yeah, so this function, I just want to make sure I'm not putting it inside of another function and messing things up. Okay, this should work. Also, another reason why this makes me really sad to do it like this is a live site right now, and if I mess this up, the site will go down temporarily. There is some caching involved, so there's a decent chance that if it's only down for a few seconds, no one will notice. Where did I put that API key? Oh, right here. Alright, and after I do this and see if it works, I'm going to check back in with the live chat as well. So if you're feeling ignored, you won't be ignored for long. That looks like the only thing I had to change. So I'm going to, as much as it hurts me to do this, I'm going to copy and paste back in. Alright, so we have this down here. Let's update the file. I'm a little apprehensive because if you've ever worked with WordPress, and if you make an error in one of these, occasionally what will happen is you'll get this white screen with some text on it. I think it's the white screen, or grayish maybe. And you're locked out. And the only way to get back in is you actually have to get to the files. So since I can't do that, I really hope that the person who set up the server is still here at work so that I can run in real quick and have him do it. So let's give it a shot. I mean, I'm saying, like, you should probably never do it like this. This is not the right way to do it. Alright, awesome. So, it worked. It worked. Also, keep your WordPress up to date. I don't have it up. I'm like one version behind right now, and I don't want to update until I back up my my database. So I didn't have time to do that yet. So I'm gonna back up the database, and then I'm gonna update. It might be cool for me to back up the database like on a video, just to show you how to manually back it up. I won't do it live probably, but maybe if I do that like at some point soon, maybe I'll record it. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested in anything like that. Okay, so we need to go back to events, and we're in this one. Let's go back in here and see. Yes. All right. So that's definitely better than the big error page. And let's see, where is this at? Marietta. Hey, that's not that far from where I'm at. Marietta, Ohio. Awesome. Okay, so Marietta, Ohio, and let's update that. I'm actually really interested to see what comes out in the API from this because I haven't seen it yet. So I'm gonna bring in this. I was trying to get something to work, and I'm just gonna tell you in case you have any ideas because I couldn't get it to work. So I have this plugin called it's multiple post type for the WordPress API. So you're supposed to be able to just let me see if I can zoom this in. There we go. So you're supposed to be able to just type in multiple post type, and then you can access different post types like this, which it does. It works like this. So I can actually get all my pages and all my posts just like this. But if I want to use some parameters here to maybe filter this, I can't get it to work. Basically, it'll filter everything the same way. I can't get it to filter just one. So like, let's say if I want one particular page and I search for it by the slug for that page, I won't get any posts because it'll actually be searching for posts with that same slug. And it didn't matter where I put that filter in here or what order I did it, I still got the same result. So I'm wondering if this plugin in fact just can't do that. Maybe it wasn't designed to do that. If that's the case, then I'm in a bit of trouble because I was relying on this to be able to load multiple different post types on one page, which I'm going to need to do. So let me know if you have any ideas with that. Another alternative that I didn't want to do because it would result in multiple API calls, but if it's the only way to do it, then I'm fine with it, would be to figure out here in basically in get initial props. I like to be able to make multiple API calls in here. So I've tried to make multiple API calls in here. It's only ever resulted in an error for me. But there's got to be some way to do it, right? I mean, if we can make one API call, then we can make two, right? And I'm just missing somehow how to do this. So think about that if you have a minute, and if you have any thoughts, let me know. I'm going to give it a shot, obviously, and try to work through it, but if you all have any input, that may help me to work through it a lot faster, and I would appreciate that. Alright, so let's go back here to what we were going to do, and I want to see what kind of data I'm getting here. So what was this? Nearby event, and I've already searched that at some point, so there we go. That's the one I wanted. So let's go down here to, if you've never seen this before, this is JSON. So this is what JSON formatted data looks like, and this in particular, normally you'll see this actually, but I have a Chrome plugin that makes it look like this. Much easier to read. But the WordPress API formats everything like this. And what I want to do, normally I edit, I don't get all this extra stuff that I don't need. But I'm looking, okay, so the field that I want would be location underscore map. And really what I'm most interested in is this latitude and longitude. Awesome. So we have that there. We know how to get it. So let's go back to our steps to see where we're at. So add map field. Good. That's done. So we completed this first one. And so let me... Alright, that'll be completed. I was trying to think of like what symbol could I use that would indicate completed, and I couldn't really find anything. So I know that there's some way to do like a check mark or something, but it's not really a check mark, but I think it's like a math symbol. But anyway, now let's go to this part. So since I kind of lost the documentation that I was trying to use, let's look it up again. And Geolocation API, let me make this bigger so y'all can see. And yep, that's what I was looking for. So using geolocation. Oh, and I said I was going to check the live chat and I forgot, so let me check it again. Got a lot of activity going on here. I'm going to scroll through real quick. Okay, so I'm right now I'm just kind of scrolling through for any questions that are really relevant right now. So if I skip your comment, I've seen it and I'm going to come back to it towards the end of the stream. So I'm not I'm seeing them, and I would do definitely intend to get to them. Okay, Rohan says this is pretty relevant. Changing the API key and using an environment variable to store it after the video might be a good idea. So yeah, actually, maybe I should change the API key. I don't think I'll need to use an environment variable because it's not actually going to go in any of the code. If you remember, we put it in the WordPress plugin. That is not actually in the GitHub repo or anything like that. That plugin only exists on that WordPress server and is not really publicly accessible as far as I know. So let me know if I'm wrong about that, but it should be just enough to change the API key if I'm not mistaken. But that's good advice. I don't know, maybe somebody try to use that same API key. I'll put it up on the screen. Somebody try to use my API key and see if it works for you. I don't mean to order anybody around. Just if you feel like it, please try to use my API key. I feel like I'm being a little bit bossy today. I don't know. I got very little sleep last night. My kids were awake. Several of my children were awake multiple times last night. And then I had meetings all morning, so it's just kind of feeling a little weird, a little tired. Okay, Emilio says, I was kind of lost, but I'm seeing that Nearby Events is already a plugin for WordPress, right? Emilio, yeah, I made this plugin. So here you can see the plugin. It's hard to tell because I haven't saved it as a PHP file locally, so it doesn't have the syntax highlighting. But basically, you can kind of see here, like I'm registering a post type. This is the resource post type. So I'm registering this post type here and giving it all the how I want the names to display. I'm saying I want it to show up in the REST API, and then I'm doing that for a bunch of them. So all these different post types, and then somewhere at the bottom here, I actually, yeah, create new type. So so I just made this plugin just to add all these post types, and down here I have just some of the code for custom taxonomies. It's all commented out right now because I don't have any taxonomies yet. I may not need them, so hopefully that clears things up for you. Whoa, Rohan says you can force syntax highlighting by changing it at the bottom right corner. Let me check out the bottom right corner. I actually never mess with any of this stuff in the bottom right corner. What? Rohan, you are my favorite person of the day. Unless somebody else comes up with something amazing, Rohan definitely wins favorite person award for today. That is awesome. You don't know how many times I've had a file. I didn't really want to save it locally. I just needed to edit it really quick, and I have actually saved it with a file extension at the end just to get the syntax highlighting. And so my file structure on my computer is filled with just these files that I'll never use again, and usually multiple versions of these files. So that's awesome. If that's like really obvious, I mean, then I'm a noob and I'm fine with that. I'm really excited about that. All right, awesome. So does that mean I could do it with this too and make this markdown if I wanted to? And could I then use, sorry, markdown preview? Will this work? Oh no, did it open a third pane? Oh, awesome. So that does work. That's so cool. This also is a problem too. I don't want to actually save this file. I don't need to, but I did want it to actually show up and be able to use Markdown, and now I can. Although I definitely don't want it to be in this third pane here. I want this to go away. And I don't need this anymore, so I want this to go away as well. Let me just move it over, because if I am going to change that API key sometime soon, I'll just leave this. Should I leave it? No, I don't really need it. It won't be hard for me to just put the API key directly into the WordPress editor, even though it's like there's no syntax highlighting. It's kind of hard to deal with, but all right, great. Let me get back to. That's so cool. Let's get back to the project. Sam says, too bad you guys aren't using Vim. Yeah, we've talked about Vim before on this stream, and basically my opinion on Vim is I'm super jealous of everyone that knows how to use Vim, and when I see somebody use it, it's like, I don't know, it's like when you're a little kid and you see like the older kids and they look really cool, that's like my view on people that use Vim. So it just looks really cool when they're using it, and I want to be like that one day. When I grow up, I want to use Vim. Alright, so let's get to geolocation. APIs published through Navigator geolocation object. I'm sure this is just like riveting to watch me go through documentation, so sorry about that. But I do want this to be an accurate representation of my daily work, and a lot of my daily work is spent going through documentation. Oh, okay. Let's just grab this really quick and see what we can do with it. Actually, let me just throw this in here because I want to change this to a console log. And yeah, that looks good. Let's log that. And let's throw this in here. Where are we at? Honestly, I guess I can just inspect any site. It doesn't really matter. I just want the JavaScript console open. This should work. I'm just going to throw this in the console. Yep. Allow. Yeah, why not? You can know where I am. What? Let's try it again. There we go. Yeah, I had to... Oh, it just took a minute. Okay, cool. So there we go. Now you all know where my location is, which it's not really a secret. So evidently this is... I mean, obviously this is probably not my exact location because it's going through like my ISP, so I'm not really even sure where that would be. But that's what we want. So here's the thing. I don't think I want a user to be prompted with this right away. And I'll show you why. If you've seen the site, that page on the site before, you probably already know why. It's pretty obvious, but for everyone that's new or hasn't seen this page before, I guess I don't even have this page open anymore. You know what? I wonder if my my dev server was shut off whenever the power went out, so it should be. I restarted it, so it should be working now. And if you want to check it out, it's at catechetics.com. If you can't spell that, which I have to think to spell that, and I've typed it a million times, there's a link in the description. Alright, so we're going to the events page. So it'll actually be catechetics.com/events. Okay, so here's the events page, right? So if I were to just automatically ask for the user's location, they'd get here, and it would pop up and ask them. And they would think, assuming that this is the first time they've been to this page, they'll think, why do you need to know where I'm at, right? That's what I would think. Hey, Quincy. Quincy Larson just joined the live chat. If you don't know who that is, that's the founder of freeCodeCamp. So this is really cool that he's in the live chat. Thanks for joining the live chat, and I'm geeking out a little bit that you're in the live chat because I remember watching Quincy do a live chat. I don't know, like 2 years ago or something. I can't remember, but kind of early on in freeCodeCamp, he was doing like a live stream, and I actually remember I was like on my exercise bike working out, and so I remember exactly what I was doing when I was watching that. I don't know, it might have been one of the New Year's streams, something like that. Oh, cool. So I apologize for all the geeking out I'm doing right here, but I am going to read this because it's awesome. Quincy says, "Hey Jesse, longtime fan of your work. I've never gotten to watch you live before." I really, really appreciate that. I mean, I really look up to your work, Quincy, and everything you've done with freeCodeCamp, and it's definitely helped me in my career. I mean, not just my career, but my family and being able to provide for them. So I'm going to stop now and get back to my stream, but I just want to let you know I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to stream for freeCodeCamp. It's really been amazing for me, and we kind of got a nice community built around here, so I think it's helping people. So thank you for that opportunity. All right, so to get back to what we were talking about, and I know it looks like there's a lot of activity going on in the live chat, so I will get to that in a minute, but I definitely do want to get this a little bit more done before I really kind of dig into the questions in the live chat. So like I said, you go to this page, right? If the user gets prompted here at this page for their location, say, like, you know, allow us to know your location, they're going to have no idea why we want to know their location, because the link it's just said events, okay? So they're going to have to scroll all the way down to here before they might have any idea of why we would want their location. So I don't want it to just go off right off the bat. So I'm thinking there's maybe two options, actually three. Here's the three options I'm thinking about, and you all let me know what you think is the best. So first idea is I just have it set so that when you scroll to this point, then this fires. So this basically fires. Obviously, I'm not going to console log, but this is going to fire and give us the latitude and longitude, which is what we need. So that also, I think, might be a little bit jarring to the user, because potentially, you know, maybe they're going to see that before they see this. So that's probably the lowest on my list. Second option would be when they click location for sorting, and I am going to probably put some sort of icon next to each header that's sortable. When they click here, then it would pop up and ask. I'm hesitant to do it like that, though, because I would like users to be able to click here and sort this alphabetically. The third option is I put a button somewhere around here that says something like show nearest events first or something. I know Andrew, who's in the live chat, I don't think I saw Andrew in here yet today. Maybe he couldn't join us today. But Andrew sent a link to some nice, basically form design. Let me share this with you. If you weren't in yesterday, I didn't get a chance to see this. I know the link, at first the link as it was pasted in the chat didn't work, so maybe you didn't get a chance to see this, but this was kind of cool. Just showed a lot of different way to do tables. But what I noticed in here that I wanted to kind of look at more and maybe try to implement was the way they did. It's down towards the bottom. Okay, so here. So they have this where maybe I could do something like this at the top of the events table here. Oops. And, you know, something like that up here, probably underneath this H tag, but right about there. Maybe I could do something there that would work and it would look nice. I like how that works. I still want to keep with a material design feel, since that's what we're going for with this site. So, you know, right off the bat, I mean, the button can be anything. It doesn't have to look good. But then at some point, you know, we're gonna have to style it. So I'll leave off the styling for later. Maybe I'll do that, you know, when I'm not streaming, depending on how long this takes. But I do want to have a button, I think, so that the user's not like abruptly faced with this decision to allow me to do something. In this case, know where they're at. So let me know what you think about that, or if you have any thoughts on, in terms of the UI, where I should put that. For now, just to get this working, I don't think there's any problem with me just saying this is going to pop up immediately, right? Just for testing, that's fine. And while I was showing you that, my command line, my terminal was visible, which it was covered up before, and I just noticed that I am on the master branch, and I don't want to make changes on the master branch for this, because this is pretty big feature. You know, this is not a huge site, so this feature is pretty big in terms of the scope of the site. So I definitely want to do it on another branch. If you're not familiar with with using the terminal or using Git. Git lets you make these like alternate versions of the project. I like to think of it as like parallel universes. So if you've ever seen any movies or had comic books or something that has that concept, it's like there are these little parallel universes called Git branches where it's your project, but it's different. And you can do whatever you want in there, and then if you mess it up or you need to go back, you can just switch back to your master branch. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to create a branch, and I'll show you. So I'm going to type in Git Branch. Let me make this a bit bigger in case you can't see, and especially I'm thinking maybe if someone's on a phone, it might be pretty hard to see this. So just a little bigger. Hopefully that's enough. So I already have all these branches, and you see most of them are basically, they correspond to some kind of major feature that I wanted to put in that I knew it would take me a while, and I'd have to go back to masonry and make some, or master and make some little changes along the way. So let's call this one, let's call it geolocation. So we're going to go Git Branch geolocation. Right. I was just double checking to make sure I spelled that right. And now when I type Git Branch, I did that. I know probably a lot of you know this, and this is basic, but in case somebody's not familiar with the command line, to do this basically, where I'm going through this really quickly, I just type, I hit the up key, the up arrow key on my keyboard, and I can go back through like my history of commands. So very useful. So now I have Git Branch, and check it out. Geolocation is there. Now if I want to navigate to that parallel universe, that version of my my site, I just go Git checkout. And there are shortcuts for all of these commands. I usually just use the long ones because I haven't really bothered to memorize the shortcuts, but just know you usually don't have to type this much to your commands. Geo, and also a good tip, I can just type in Geo and then hit tab and it'll autocomplete because there's nothing else that starts with Geo. I could have just typed G and it would autocomplete. So that can also save you a lot of time when you're typing on the command line. And there we go. Now I'm on the branch geolocation. I could do whatever I want on this branch, and it's not going to affect any of these other branches. But when I'm ready and this feature is ready to go and I want it to go live, I can merge it into the master branch, and now that feature will be in master, and it'll get along nicely with everything else I've done in master, and I can push it live, and everything will work. So that's kind of the beauty of Git. Among other things, that's what's really cool about it. Okay, so I didn't really intend to do like a Git or terminal tutorial, but it seemed like a good time to talk about it. So now that I'm on a separate branch, now I feel confident that I can start changing things up, and I can start changing things with reckless abandon, confident that my project is safe. So let's grab this piece of code. I don't need this anymore, and we want to be on the events page, so let's go to events.js, and let's see where we're going to put this. Component did mount. Yeah, so let's make a function. Just call it Git location. Oops. Git location here, and we'll just console log this for now, just so we make sure it's working. And then let's try putting it component did mount. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't think this will fire on the server side. I should remember this by now because I've dealt with this for months now. Let me know what you think. I'll check the live chat in a minute after you guys hear this from the delay. I'm worried because I'm not sure that Navigator is actually available on the server, so it may throw an error. But let's see if it does. Git location, and I'm going to save that. and we will find out, I guess, quickly. Oops, Git location is, what do you mean it's not defined? Maybe it's just, what's up with this? There we go. No. Did I spell it wrong? Alright, I'm going to check the live chat because it should have been, the delay should have been over by now. Also, I want to check in as I haven't really looked at it for a few minutes. So I'm just going to scroll up a bit just to see if anybody's confused or if you have some really good advice for me or anything. Oh, Sam says Practical Vim is a book that changes lives. All right, thanks for that. Practical Vim. I'll have to remember that one. I am serious. I would like to learn Vim at some point. I don't know if it'll happen in the near future, but I'd love to do it. Okay, good. So Sebastian tested the API key for Google Maps, and it said refer not allowed map error. Awesome. So it seems like my API key is safe for the time being. I'm guessing, though, as always, there's probably some way to like spoof the URL and get it anyway. So somebody who wasn't very nice and sees my API key probably could do that. So I should probably change it anyway, but probably not a huge deal right now. But I'll get it changed here within the next day or so. Oh, okay. I just saw when Quincy first came in, he said he noticed the stream was going on and tweeted about it. Awesome. Thank you. All right. I'm almost through down to the bottom here with the live chat. There is some discussion in the live chat about the beta curriculum for freeCodeCamp. So if you haven't heard about that, check that out. There's even if you've been through the old curriculum, there's a new one that's coming out. I don't know when, but if you'd like to help out with it, check it out. Go through it, do testing, and contribute. And I know like everybody's is waiting and anticipating that new curriculum, so it would be awesome if you could help out with that. Last night I actually started back in to pick up where I left off a long time ago with freeCodeCamps with their lessons, because I got really busy and just stopped progressing. So I picked back up and I made, which one did I do? The weather. I think I started redoing the weather one. I had gotten it pretty much to where it worked before, and then I got really like worried. I wanted to make it really good instead of just getting it done. So I just scrapped that whole one and I'm going to redo it. Okay, Philip says nearby events button near the top of the event list. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to happen. That's what I'm going to go with. Oh, cool. Quincy said, I'm honored to have played a part in your own coding journey. Bo and I are thrilled that you've been streaming so much. Awesome. I'm glad. I wondered if you all were happy that I was streaming so much or not. So I didn't want to take advantage of the opportunity to stream on the channel. So, but I'm glad. If you're all right with that, I'm going to keep streaming. You know, I think streaming Monday through Friday is I'm going to keep it up for as long as it's helpful, and as long as my boss lets me do it. Oh, and I mentioned Bo. If you don't know, Bo does all the like JavaScript tutorial videos on freeCodeCamp's YouTube channel, and they're awesome. So check them out if you can, if you get a chance. Okay, Rohan says the sorting menu and by location should trigger permission requests and probably have a subtext of location permission required. Okay, I haven't thought of that, but that might be a good idea. I guess I can't show you the page right now because I'm getting this error, which I just left it at the error for now. Partly because I figured if it was some silly mistake that I made, somebody would just see it and let me know. You all usually catch my mistakes before I do. I feel like I'm in a mood today to make silly mistakes just because of lack of sleep. So I'm getting down towards the bottom. We'll see. Maybe somebody caught it. Oh, we got some talk about WebAssembly. I'm not going to go through that right now in the live chat, but I'm super interested in WebAssembly. I haven't had time to check it out too much. Okay, so Rohan did confirm Navigator is not available in the in Node environment. So that's what we thought. You have to use it client side. Okay, Quincy said the curriculum, the beta curriculum that I was just mentioning a few minutes ago, will come out ASAP, so as soon as possible. Oh, and Quincy's going to try to stream working through it once more of it is stable. That's awesome. And it says we're also building a JS bin-like interface so you can build projects there. That's really cool. Bob asks, it's actually Bob 2010 asks, kind of random question, but how does freeCodeCamp make money? There's lots of ongoing development, reliable servers, etc. with very little ads. Is it a charity? I'm assuming that Quincy answered this, so let me read down. And he did. Quincy said, we are a donor-supported nonprofit. You can donate here, freeCodeCamp.com/donate. So I encourage you to do that if you can. And not everybody's in a position to donate, which I totally understand. I've been there. But if you're at a point in your career, in your life, where you have a little bit to spare, please, spare some for freeCodeCamp. And I definitely don't get paid for any of this, so it's going to be going to help run, keep up those servers and things like that. It's not going, in anyone's pocket. Amelia said, you are truly an inspiration with the streams, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Ooh, okay. Here's a good tip. So, I know I've seen your name before, and I know you told me how to pronounce it, and I can't remember. So it's QNOOX. I'm not even going to try it this time because I know I'm going to mess it up. I'm really sorry that I forgot how to pronounce it. But good tip. If you do Control-R, it's a good way to search past types commands as well. It's useful for less typing. That's really cool. I did not know that. You all are always giving me really awesome tips. So Control-R. Oh, nice. Really cool. I don't know if you could see that, but it turned into this. Awesome. Really cool. I'm assuming Control-R will get me out of it, hopefully. No. Let's see what will get me out of this. Q? No. Control C. Yeah, Control C. When in doubt, Control C, and that will get you out. All right, Rohan asked to zoom into the error. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm really sorry, everybody. I showed you this really tiny error message, and I'm sure no one could actually see it. So really sorry about that. So it looks like page of events. Well, there's no way I have that many lines in that file. So I'll leave this up for a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to check the file as well. And I've gotten to the bottom of the live chat, so it's back to this now. Oh, Jennifer says live streaming is terrific. Keep it up, please. Awesome. I'm glad that that you like it. I intend to keep it up for as long as it is useful to you all. I will definitely keep this up. There we go. Nico says, what is the editor? I'd love to go back at some point and see like what our streak is of how many times people want to know about the editor. Which, Nico, I'm not making fun of that question or anything, because it's probably one of the first times you watched. I have no problem with people asking all the time about the editor, but I find everybody's really interested in it. So I was the same way. When I watch videos of people doing stuff, I always wonder what their tools are. So don't mind questions about it. But it is Adam, so it was answered in the live chat. But in case you're watching later on and can't see the live chat, the editor is Adam. I have a link so you can learn more about it in the description. Alright, so this has probably been up long enough for you all to check it out. I'm going to move this over and see what's going on. Now, I don't really expect that to be much use, because obviously that's telling me that I have an error on line 1067. Obviously, I don't have a line 1067. So here's the problem. I think it needs to be this Git location, and I may have to use an arrow function here. So let's do this. Yep, there it was. Awesome, that works. So it's crazy that having to use this happens like nearly every time I stream. I have some error because I forgot to use this, and I still don't remember it right off the bat. But at least this time I remembered without having to wait for somebody in the live chat to tell me. So I think I'm getting better. Oh, okay, so QNOX. So I couldn't remember how to pronounce it. QNOX. Okay, I remember you saying I remember you saying that now, but I don't mind you say it however you want. No, I want to say it the right way, so I'll try to remember. It'll be easier to remember now that this is twice that I asked. So third time's a charm. Hopefully I'll remember next time. But this is interesting. Quincy says, we hope to bring back the live stream summits as soon as we ship beta. We're all in heads down mode right now, trying to QA it and ship it. So that's really awesome news. There's going to be some really exciting stuff happening with freeCodeCamp soon. Alexandra says, put the editor in the title also, and less people will ask. Now, I really don't mind when people ask, because then often the next thing that happens is there's a discussion in the live chat about which editor do you want to use, which I think is cool, because people get to learn more about other people's editors, because sometimes people will just use the editor that they're comfortable with and not really make the switch. That's usually what I do. Is it's just so much easier to stay still, right, than to move and try to use something new. But if I see everybody talking about it in the live chat, I'm way more likely to have motivation to try it. Okay, so check that out. So that worked. Actually, let me clear this out, because there was an error at first. Okay, we didn't get the error again. All right, so I thought maybe that had been left over from previously, so I just wanted to verify that. And since I had already given permission here, it didn't ask me for permission again. You see the console log automatically came up here for my latitude and longitude. Okay, so we're good. Next step. And how long has this been going on? Okay, so we're already at 1 hour and 10 minutes for this stream. So the last step here. So this step is done for. It's not gonna happen. But we got step 1 and step 2 are done. Now let's do the comparison. So here's the thing. I know I asked this at the beginning of the stream, so if you weren't around at the beginning, I'll repeat it. I have this idea, and I'm not sure if this will work, that instead of making some call out to another API to have them compare locations, what if I can just do some sort of math to compare these numbers and figure out which set of numbers has the least difference between them? So basically it would be something like okay, so we have latitude and longitude. I guess that's the order. I can't remember what order I wanted to get them in. I guess that's important to know. So let me double check that, since we're going to be doing some math on it. Okay, latitude first and then longitude. So like for instance, we can take my latitude minus the latitude of the event and get that, and then do the same thing here and get whatever that is, and then add these two numbers together, and then we can use that number to order everything. Does that even make sense? To me, it makes some sense. I will have to make sure. We have some negative stuff going on here, so I'll have to just be careful and watch out that I'm not maybe I was thinking I could take the absolute value of this, but I don't think that's a legit solution, because we need the absolute value, right? Because we need the negative in there to show like it would make a big difference. So we need that in there. So anyway, that's my idea, and it would save us a lot of extra API calls, because remember, we have a lot of events down here, and we need to actually compare. Whoa, let me make that smaller. We need to compare to each one of these events that's showing up here. So right now it's not a huge list, but it's going to get bigger. So if this works, this will definitely be preferable, because doing some simple math is a lot faster than making 100 API calls. Also, I don't know if there is an API, if it will let me make that many calls all the time. So I'm going to check the live chat and see what your opinion is. QNox, he had me in the live chat, or actually he or she, I'm not really sure. So sorry for assuming there. But QNox says you forgot to use this. So somebody did in the live chat catch me on that. So Rohan says I'm getting faster. So yeah, I'm getting faster with that. Oh, okay. Patrick is linking to a Stack Overflow page, so I'm assuming that this is in response to how to do the math on these. Why do I have this open twice? Anyway, I guess I can get rid of at least one of those. says Patrick also says it may be overkill for this, but you need great circle distances. Okay, Mamadou, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if it's wrong. Says like your scroll at the bottom. What did you use? Just kind of really quickly. You mean this scroll, like this horizontal scroll? This part is all CSS. If you check out the Materialize, I think it's materializecss.com. It's a JavaScript framework, or I'm sorry, it's like a CSS framework. There's JavaScript included too. It's comparable to Bootstrap, if you're familiar with that. And they have this responsive table class. So I modified it slightly so that it would. I had some formatting issues, so I had to modify that, and then I wanted it to work on all screen sizes. But it's basically pretty much exactly how it was for there. So that's how I did that. And then these just take. Check out the GitHub repo. I have a function called hscroller, I think. So check out that function in the app.js file. And if you have questions about it, let me know. You can message me on Twitter and I can explain it. But if you check that out, it's really simple. I'm just incrementing the scroll position, the horizontal scroll position, and then decrementing it, or decrement. How do you say that? Decrement or decrement? Anyway. Hey, Andrew's here. How's it going, Andrew? Glad you could make it. All right, we have some other ideas here about how to do this math. Oh, Patrick said, I actually bombed an interview on this exact question that you are implementing. All right, well, now's the time to make up for it. Let's get it done. Rohan says, we could probably calculate the delta/difference between difference and sort by that. Between locations. Okay. All right, so let's try some of this math out. So we can just take these values here, I guess. Well, first of all, where are we at? I need to find my WordPress because I'd like to have more than one example here. So let me just throw in a map location for, let's do 3. So 2 more events, and then that'll give us a couple of pieces of data with latitude and longitude to work with. So where is this at? Steubenville. That's where I'm at. Okay. So this might be a nice case to see if anything weird happens in our math if the latitude and longitude match up. I doubt they'll match up exactly, but cool. Alright, so there's our second one, and let's see, I want this one to be in a different place. So, alright, Austin, Texas. That's definitely a different place. That works. Oh, I meant to mention this at some point in the stream, so I guess I'll just mention it now while I'm updating this. I just started, I don't know if you're all familiar with the freeCodeCamp groups. I can't remember what they call them officially, but basically all around the world there are people that get together and they code together and they help each other learn how to code. So you can start them you can find out about them. Check out the freeCodeCamp website. There's a page on there where you can look up. They use geolocation to look up a group near you. And if there's not a group near you, you can make one. So that was my case. There is no Steubenville Free Code Camp. At least there wasn't until last night. And I created one. So I don't think anybody watching here is anywhere close to Steubenville, Ohio. That's near Pittsburgh, so you might be more familiar with where Pittsburgh is. But if you are in the area or ever happen to be close to here, let me know, and then maybe you could come to one of our meetups. They're building a new coffee shop really close to where I work, so when that opens, that's probably where we're going to meet. And it's supposed to have really nice coffee and great bagels. So Any of you are welcome to attend if you're ever in the area. All right, I don't need this anymore. Just gonna clean this up. I don't need this. And I probably don't need that. So let's just move this over here. And let's refresh this so that we can make sure and just verify that we have the data. Okay, that's first one, we had it already. We have it here. And we have data here. Great. All right, so we have 3 events to test this out on. And I think we can test the theory without even writing any code. Because basically, we can just do this math, not by hand. I'm obviously going to use a calculator, but I don't even need that. I could probably just round this out. It doesn't need to be exact, but just as a proof of concept before we actually start to code this. Because if it doesn't work when we try to do this math, there's no sense in wasting time trying to code it if logically it's just not going to work. So let me... Actually, this sounds like a job for Google Sheets. So let me bring over a Google Sheet. Spreadsheet would be helpful here. Alright, so I'm going to bring over a Google Sheet, and I'm just going to throw some of this data in here very quickly. Alright, so actually let me go lat and long. Is that how you abbreviate longitude? No, LNG, they're abbreviating it? Okay. I remember in school when we learned about latitude and longitude, I always thought about, to remember which one's which, I always thought like lat is fat and like the earth looked like it was kind of fat around the middle, and so I remembered that latitude was like around the equator. And might be a silly way to remember it, but it worked for me when I was in grade school. Alright, so there's one location, and let me quickly grab the other 2, and once they're in there, then we can just make a formula, and that way we don't have to do the math separately for every single one of these. And since I know which ones are closer, so basically it should result, the result should be that Steubenville obviously is the closest because that's where I'm at, and then the next one would be Marietta, Ohio, and then the farthest one away is Austin, Texas. So we know what it should be, and let me grab mine, and I'll just throw that in here for now. Alright, actually I kind of want these to go, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Anyway, I just throw in another row. I wanted a little bit more space between here. So basically, we're going to take right here. Yeah, we'll just put it right here. So I'm going to go equals. Oh, this is really small. I'm sorry, everyone. I should have made this a lot bigger so you could see it. Okay. I'm going to glance quickly at the live chat just to see if I'm missing something like really obvious that somebody's trying to tell me. Okay. Nothing there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, I guess it might not really matter which one I take first. Let's go with, we'll take E4, oops. And we want E4 minus A. And then we want to add that to the longitude, which would be F4 minus, there we go. And we want these to be constant. So I don't know how you do this in Google. This is how you do in Excel. You just put like a $sign next to it. Let me know. Well, it's worth a try to see if that works or not, to make this a constant, because I'm going to do this. Let me see what it did. E4. So it needs to be E4 every time. Nope, that's not it. So I don't really know how to make that a constant. So I am going to have to manually modify that, which kind of stinks. E4, F4, E4. It's crazy. Like, I haven't used Excel in so long, like possibly, I don't know, 10 years or more. And I can remember how to do stuff in Excel. I've been using Google Sheets for a really long time now, and I don't know how to do that. Okay, so let's E4, F4, A5, B5. Alright, so let's just see if this is at all reasonable. This one, yeah, actually this looks like it works out. So this one was the one from Marietta, which comes in second place in terms of distance. This one is the one from Steubenville, which comes in first place in terms of being the closest. And this one is farthest away, and this is Austin, Texas. So obviously this is not like a completely conclusive test. It was only three locations, but I think that makes me pretty certain that this should work. If you see anything that I'm missing, oh, I had to just do $signs for both of them. Oh man, I was so close. Okay, so I think this worked. So basically, this is the formula that we need. That'll give us these numbers, and then we sort by these numbers. It sounds simple when I say that, but if you tuned in yesterday and saw how much trouble I had with trying to sort things, you'll know that it's not that simple. At least for me, it's not that simple. All right. So let me check the live chat quickly. Sam says you can use Google Sheets as a free backend for small projects. Yes, you can. I've actually done projects like that, and it's really cool. I've done it before to store form data, and I also had one of the students had to do a website as a senior project, like a senior thesis project, and he I helped work with him on it. This was just this past spring. He did the project, and I advised him to use Google Sheets for a backend and pull it in with JavaScript, like real time. It ended up being really, really cool, and it worked. And when he gave his presentation, his classmates were impressed with his site. So I was really happy for him. He actually got a job as a Java developer out near Washington, D.C., which is awesome. Yep, Sam says you can write AppScript and it will serve data as a web app. Sam says I'm probably gonna write a blog post about it. It's really cool. Awesome, go for it, Sam. I'll read that blog post. Send me a link to it when it's done. Yeah, you can do cool stuff with the back. Like I know I've gotten form data, and then based on that form data, I've sent the data to. Obviously, I've logged it in the Google Sheet, but then I've also sent emails out from the Google Sheet with Gmail. So like all automatically happening. So really cool stuff. Brandon says this site has some JS snippets for calculating distance between lat and longitude. Cool. I think this is going to work the way we did it. If it doesn't, and I start getting some weird stuff happening, I'll check out what some other people did. But usually I'm all for looking up what other people did, not reinventing the wheel. But in this case, I thought I'd just test my idea. And even if, everybody else already figured this out before me, it feels good that I did it myself and didn't look it up. I mean, if I did this all the time, I'd never get anything done. But every once in a while, it's nice. It's nice to do that. So let's at least try to get, do this math and get that working. Let me see what time it is. An hour and a half. Okay. Yeah, let's maybe try to get a little bit more done. So just trying to think where I should do this. I like this get location function being really simple, so I don't think I'm going to add anything to it. It's just literally going to get the location, and so we'll probably want another function. And let me see. Actually, I just realized now I haven't merged the sorting into master. So whenever I made this branch based on master, I don't have any of that in there. And I wish I did have it in there. I really don't want to do it on the same branch, but I want some of that. How about this? I think this is possible, and it shouldn't mess anything up, but I can just merge the branch that we were doing the sorting on into this branch, and then I'll have those changes, correct? I'm going to try it. First, I'm going to save this stuff. Where's my... Okay, so in my terminal, I have it set to show a little asterisk when there's changes. So it may or may not happen in your terminal depending on how you set it up. So this tells me, I type git status, it tells me what changed. And now I'm going to do git commit, and I'm just going to write AM. Okay, that means I'm going to add and write a commit message at the same time, which I use this a lot because normally, I'm making really small commits and it's fine to do that. Occasionally you'll want to maybe break it up and only commit certain files, individually. So git commit AM, and I'm just going to say git location, git user location. That's pretty much all we did, right? We just got the user location. Alright, and alright, great, everything worked. So now I'm going to merge the other branch. I forgot what I called it. And events sorted. Okay, so let's do a git merge events sorted. Uh-oh, and it looks like we're gonna merge conflicts. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, it's just asking me to do a message. I don't know. I'm always really terrible about merge messages. Like, I just wanted to merge the branches. I don't know what to say. Merge features into geolocation branch. Alright, not sure if that's decent commit message or not, but That's all I can come up with right now. So I'm going to close. I really kind of wish I didn't set this to come up in Atom. It's actually a lot easier just to have it come up in like Nano or something right in the terminal. It's more of a pain to do it in Atom. So there we go. Yep. So you check this out. If you haven't done merging before with Git, check out maybe like 2 days. The episode I did, I think 2 days ago, we did some merging and stuff. Maybe 3 days ago. So at some point this week, I went through like more thoroughly how to do merges. So I actually kind of wish I had merge conflicts because I didn't get to demonstrate that live, and that would have been probably useful if you've never had any conflicts, just to see the process for resolving those. But I'm sure it'll happen one day when I'm streaming, so we'll get to see it at some point. So let's check out what we have here. Awesome. Okay, so this gives us a much better picture of what this page is actually going to look like once we get all the sorting sorted. And so here's what we want. We're going to save some of this data. How are we going to save this? Alright, so this is the part where I may need your help because I'm feeling really kind of tired and my brain is not working. So here's what we want to do. Let's go back to our list just to keep me on track. So we've got this. We need to compare location. So let's do this. Let's compare this, and then what I'm worried about is getting to the point where I'm actually sorting. So I obviously need to do the comparison, save that data, and then do something with that data to sort it, but then have that associated with the actual of the rest of the data for the event. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you all. Okay, so where are we at? We'll just do another function here. Let's go compare location. I kind of just want to say loc, just LOC, but I've already used location, so I'm just going to stick with that. But it probably would have been sufficient just to say loc. Alright, so here's what we want to do. We want to take our, oh, actually we need this. So we need to save I'm thinking maybe I ought to just save this into state. If there's any reason why I shouldn't just save it into state instead of just some variable somewhere, let me know, but I can't really think of any reason why I couldn't just put this in state. So let's see. I'm going to break it out into two things. So it's going to be this dot, and let's use an arrow function. Arrow function is going to, as Patrick so eloquently wrote in the live chat yesterday, it's going to lexically bind the value of this. So basically this is going to mean what I want it to mean. So you can check out, I tried to explain it I think yesterday in my stream, so you can check that out, or look it up for a better explanation than I gave. So no, I don't want to say this right here. What I want to say is this: set state, and we're going to say curly brackets, and we want user lat, and we want that to be position. Okay, let me know if I have to define this up here first before I do this. So let me know. I'm gonna finish it out with this one, but then if you know offhand, otherwise I'll just save it and see if I get an error, and then we'll know. Dot set state it seems like I'm doing this with a lot less errors than yesterday. If you were here yesterday, you know, it was slightly painful. All the mistakes I was making, just, you know, syntax errors, spelling errors, logic errors, it's all over the place errors. Okay, so let me comment this out quickly just to save this and see what's going on, see if it works. Where, I don't know where I put it. Events, there we go. Okay, so Patrick says, not sure if it is required, but I've always seen the default state get initialized with all the values. Okay, cool. I'm fine with doing that. I actually think it would be helpful for someone trying to read this if they could see everything that is going to end up being in state instead of having to read through and piece together what's there. So I'm going to do that even if it's not necessary. So this may not be necessary, but I think it would just be good practice. So how should I... What data types want this to be? In coordinates. I'm thinking I don't really need to set this to anything. Is there a way that I can just set this with no value? Should I just make it at this point an empty string? Is that legit? Would that be the best way to do that? Oh man, Patrick, I remember you told me, I'm pretty sure you told me the same thing yesterday. Patrick just says don't call set state twice. And I definitely forgot that. It's not like it's, once Patrick reminds me of it, it's like, that's obvious, but for some reason I just cannot remember it. Alright, so there we go. So let's say, man, I have Spotify going in my headphones, and I've been listening to a song I don't even like for like 3 minutes, and I just realized it. I hate when that happens. Okay, so this should work, and I just want to make sure I'm not getting an error anywhere. Oh, here we go. So this is, nope, not events yet. Let's click events. I'm just gonna reset the dev server. There we go. Okay, so it loads. We're not getting any error screen there. I'm not getting any errors. I have the console open and DevTools on my other screen. No errors there. Oh, use 0. Oh yeah, why? Yeah, obviously it's a number I'm going for. So both Rohan and Patrick are saying use 0. It's valid, lat and longitude. Yep. Okay, so let's use 0 instead. 0. Okay, and yeah, so that reloaded. No errors, at least no errors related to that. I always have a few errors when I'm developing locally, just basically for like, I don't know where, but something with fetching some script. I think it has to do with me doing it from localhost, and it works when I have a legit URL. Okay. So Patrick's saying, in this case and yesterday, setting state twice wouldn't have made a difference, but in the case where you are changing values that are displayed in the DOM, you will cause 2 updates. Okay, thanks for explaining that. So, I was convinced that I shouldn't be doing it twice just to not, just to keep my code a little bit more simple, but that's also an even better reason there. So, thanks, Patrick, for that. All right, Quincy says, I've got to run to a meeting, but it's been a blast hanging out with you all and watching Jesse code live. Usually I just watch when time permits and double speed. Thank you so much for joining in today, Quincy. This really made my day, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you. All right, so I too would like to be gone soon. Because I've been at work for a long time and I'd like to go home. So let's do a little bit more with this. I just hate to leave this commented out. So let's at least get this finished. And then I will go home. Maybe I'll go. I have to review a bunch of job applications for the web developer position. So we're hiring a web developer here, and I've gotten a little bit behind on reviewing the applications, and I need to have them all done by tomorrow afternoon. So I don't have that. I think I maybe at most have like 5 more to review, so it's not a huge deal. I can usually get them reviewed like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes per application it takes me, depending. Some people are like really obviously not qualified, so I can kind of very quickly rule them out. Okay, so here's where we want to do our math. So we want, let's see, so we want to I'm trying to think how to do this the best way. Okay, so we have this saved in the state, so we're good there. It just occurred to me that I want to be careful. I don't want this function to ever be called if we don't have these, right? Because then it won't be able to do anything. It'll just give different. So I don't think we have to worry about it right now to do what we want to do, but I need to remember there has to be some safeguard that if the user has not shared their location, then this doesn't work, because I don't want errors to come up because of that. So I'll have to think about the best way to accomplish that. But for now, we just want to do alright, so let me think. We basically want, for each event, we want a value that is the result of what we got, in our spreadsheet. So basically, we want this value to be attached somehow to each event so that we can sort by it. So that's going to be the goal of this function. The end goal will have this be attached to each event. All right. Oh, okay. It looks like I made a mistake earlier, and Patrick is pointing this out. Patrick said he was not arguing for using 0. He was saying that if 0 is a valid latitude and longitude, null would be a better idea. It says this has not been initialized. Okay, so Brandon says latitude longitude of 0, 0 puts you on the west coast of Africa and the ocean. So Patrick says yes, set the default to null. Test against that. And Brandon agrees with Patrick. All right, thanks for clarifying that. I know I said this yesterday, I'll say it again today. You all are very patient with me because sometimes it takes me a while to get what you're saying, and I really appreciate that. So let me go up here. No. Okay, cool. So here's where my thinking is. I'm not exactly sure what to do. I'm trying to think, how do I go about attaching these values to the events. So I'll have the events already stored. They're basically already stored in state. At this point, we'll have the default stored. Did we store it on load or not, or does it happen when we sort? I don't think we actually store anything in. Do we store anything in state? Yeah, we do. On component did mount. So in state, we're storing this props data. Okay, so everything we need is already in this props data. So it should be. We should go to set state data, and then it should be like dot something, right? So data dot So I should do something like I'm doing down here. Basically, I want to loop through everything. So let me show you here. So basically, I want to loop. In a sense, like we could do a map. So it's going to be this state data, right? And we're going to map that. And then inside of that, I want to, well, first of all, grab the latitude and longitude, make the comparison, and then the result of that, I will use this. I'll use set state, and then I'll add. Yeah, I think at that point I will add something into the state for this particular one. How would I? I'm just thinking, what would this mean inside of here, or what would be the right? Okay, so I've explained it about as far as I can think to do it. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so Patrick's saying this props data map. Okay, good. So at least I was on the right track there. And then insert a distance to event property on each event. Okay, good. So that's what I'm thinking. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is if I use map, will that preserve this, or will I have to? Just let me know. So do I need to throw in arrow function somewhere to preserve the value of this so I can do this at state? So anyway, let me know. Alright, so within here, let's go with, let me do the arrow function so that I can lexically bind this. And let's go with this state data map function. And actually Patrick says this props data map. Is there a reason why I should use this props data map instead of this state data map? I mean, obviously the same, at least on initial load, props would be the same. as whatever's in data. But if some other sorting has happened after that point, then they would be different. Okay, state map function. Wait a second. Sorry, I just gotta. Sorry if you get motion sick. That was probably. I just wanted to check the syntax. And I can call this event, right? I don't think I will need to know the, have that I in there. At this point, I don't think I have any use for that. All right, so within this, we're going to say okay. All right, so Patrick says, in response to my question about props versus state, state is fine, but don't forget to capture that in a variable and then set state with the modified data. Map is a pure function that is going to return the modifications. Okay. Alright, so we need to do some math first. Actually, I need to look at the how this is in the API. So we need ACF location map and then lat or LNG. Okay, I'm going to show this on my other screen so I can see it when I'm doing this. So we're going to say so we need this. I'm gonna just type this out so I get it all out, and then we'll clean it up. So I need this state, right? When do we call this? User lat. This state, yeah. User lat minus. And that's going to be event.acf. What was it? Location map dot lat. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then it's going to be plus okay, so that was our basic formula that we wanted to use. Alright, so the result of this is what we want to set as the value for, and what we're, Patrick had a name for it, I liked it. I'm trying to find it in the live stream. Distance to event. So I like that name. So property on each event. Okay, so we want to all right, so Patrick, the last, all right, we just got a question here. When will the data visualization be available in Free Code Academy? I'm assuming you meant freeCodeCamp, correct? So if so, I don't know when the data visualization will be available, but Quincy, the founder of freeCodeCamp, was just in the chat a few minutes ago and said that the new curriculum will be up and running as soon as possible. So no dates given, but they're working really hard on it, and it'll be up soon. And I haven't looked at the beta curriculum for a long time, so I can't say for sure, but I'm assuming that all the data visualization stuff will be in there and completed. You can check it out, though. I can't remember what the URL is, but if you search for the FreeCodeCamp beta curriculum, you'll be able to get a preview of what it's going to be like. If you want to kind of get a jump start, and you can even work through some of the stuff, some of the problems and the lessons. Okay, so back to this. All right, so let me go back to what Patrick just said to review this. So you need to capture that in a variable and then set state with the modified data. Okay, so should we say let distance equals, there we go. And then set state. I have a feeling I'm not doing this the way that Patrick was trying to describe it to me, so I fully am aware of that. So just Patrick, just let me know. Sorry, and let me know how it's going. So this set state, and let's do. We need distance to event, so it's going to be this set state data. No, what was it? Shoot. Actually, we may have, there's probably a better way to do this, but I think we actually have use of this value for the iterator, because we can go data and then put I in there, and that'll give us the one that we want, right? So this says state data I, and then we're gonna add the field, right? So distance to event equals distance. Okay, let's see. Const new data. This is, oh yeah, const. I'm trying to based on the wisdom that you all shared with me about when to use const and let. So my philosophy was like, I always use let unless I knew I wanted a const. But it seemed like the better way is use const all the time unless you really need let. So I still haven't broken myself of my first habit, but I'm going to try to. So this state data map const new data. Oh shoot, that's not what even. I don't think that's what Patrick was talking about. Const new data equals this state data map. There we go. So he was talking about which I can use that in there anyway, I suppose, because it's going to go again. So here I need okay, so they say don't set the state inside the loop. Okay. I kind of was wondering about that. I assumed you would let me know when I tried to do it if I shouldn't do it. Patch it after this set state. Alright, so const. So this is where we're going to do it. Const. I'm just going to write this how you put it. New data. And then after, we're going to do this set state, or wait, this set state. I'm just going to copy this for a second. Oh no, I'm going to copy this, what you put in, what Patrick put in. There we go. This set state, data, new data, and then I can remove this. And what I need to do is then, should this be return instead of actually making this a variable? Do I need that? Is that not necessary here? I guess I'll hit save and see. See what happens. Alright, well, no errors yet, so that's a good sign. But what I really need to see is, let's see, React. Says you need to, okay, so Shaw says, yeah, you return it, good. Okay, Patrick says you need to return it, but you need to set the new property with the calculated value. This set state. Yeah, you're right. I just read, he says you need to set the new property calculated value. So I turned my head over and just saw what I was doing here. Realized it and then turned back and I saw Patrick said that wipes out your data. So yeah. Oh man. This is the same thing I did yesterday. I think I just tried to push it and get too much done when my brain was just not ready. Just too tired for all this. Okay, what was I did want to ask really quickly. So these are the dev tools for React. So I wanted to show them and also ask a question. So you have a React tab. I forget. It's some sort of extension, I think, that you have to download for this to work. But I just wondered. I can see props, but I don't see anywhere for state. Although I wonder, perhaps I just overwrote all my state, and that's why I can't see it. Oh no, Lyndon just joined us and said, can't believe I got a notification 2 hours in. I'm really sorry. I set the notifications to go out beforehand, so I'm not sure if I can do anything to remedy that, except maybe create the event earlier in the day. So today I created it kind of late because I had a Twitter poll on the topic. But it was all kind of late. I spent all morning in meetings, so everything was delayed more than I wanted it to. So I'll try to get the event scheduled earlier in the day, and hopefully that'll stop the notifications from going out late as well. Okay. All right. So Patrick is giving me lots of stuff here. Let's go back to this. Patrick says event distance to event equals cocked in return event. All right. So distance. All right. Lyndon says it's okay. I'll catch up tomorrow. Cheers. All right. I'm going to read, I had a comment just come up, not necessarily related to what we're working on, but I'm just going to read it right now to give my brain a slight break here. Mammy is saying, hi, this helps me a lot, and thank you, Jesse. Some things are small, and the videos help me review over and over until I see what you are clicking, and it is fun, Jesse. I am new, and I know nothing at all. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're getting something out of it. I think I said at the beginning, this is kind of more advanced stuff, so if you're just learning, this might be kind of difficult. I'll try to do my best to explain. And so you're saying some things are really small, so watch it to see what I'm clicking. So yeah, so I mean, I'll try to keep the everything as large as I can in terms of font size and everything, but let me know if it is really too small and you can't see. Alright, so let's finish this up. So event distance to event. Alright, so we need, oops. Okay, so we need to return the event. So let me read out what Patrick's saying for those of you watching later on. So he's saying, we need, Rohan says, gotta go, really sleepy. Yeah, what is it, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning where you're at? Probably. I can't believe you stayed up this late as it is. So yeah, get some sleep. I'll see you. Actually, not tomorrow. I won't be streaming tomorrow because I will be hopefully taking a nap because I'm going to drive through the night about 8 hours to take my family to the beach for vacation. So I won't be streaming tomorrow, but it might be a week before I stream again. So thanks for staying up this late and hanging in there, Rohan. All right. Sorry, Patrick, I keep messing around and you're being really patient with me, so. Alright, so event, so from what I'm thinking that Patrick is saying here is that we need to return, where is it at? I'm losing it here. Okay. Then return event. Okay, so event.distance to event, return event. So we're going to set event.distance to event equals, oops, let's do this. Alright. This is making a little bit of sense to me, so hopefully I'm doing this right. And then we're going to return event. Awesome. And then that's what's going to be, so event now, this event with, and I guess I don't need this, huh? So this event is now the value of new data, right? And okay, Patrick says there's a big thunderstorm rolling in, so might lose power. Well, I hope you don't lose power for your sake and for my sake, because you're helping me out a lot right now. It says he's rolling in over the mountain. Where, if you don't mind me asking, where are you at, Patrick? I mean, just in general, if you got mountains around you. Return events. All right, so Patrick, let me ask you, okay, East Tennessee, cool. I'm from West Virginia myself, so not super far from Tennessee. I'm actually trying to think. Is there any point? I don't think there's any point where West Virginia borders Tennessee, but it's pretty close in the southern point of West Virginia. So, I have been to Tennessee a few times. Really nice. My wife has family in Tennessee. Okay, so Patrick, am I doing this right so far? At least in this area. Oh, cool. Patrick says drives through West Virginia on the way to see family in Pittsburgh. Really cool. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm about to drive from where I'm at to Pittsburgh only takes about 30 minutes. It depends on where at in Pittsburgh. I mean, I can get to the like the west side of Pittsburgh in about 30 minutes. Takes longer, of course, to get through the city over to the east side, but uh, yeah, Pittsburgh's a cool city. Yeah, if anybody is ever around Pittsburgh or anything, let me know. I don't know. I don't know if we'll get to meet up or what, or if that'll be possible. Oh, cool. Coriopolis. Patch says Coriopolis by the airport. Oh, yeah. So that's only about a half-hour drive from where I'm at. Awesome. And it's actually only about, I don't know, 15, 25 minutes away from where I grew up, which was right on the border of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. At one point, I could walk in my backyard and cross the border into Pennsylvania. I used to like to stand like right in the line between West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and like say like one of my feet was in one state and the other was in the other state. So when I was a kid, I thought that was really cool. Okay, awesome. So Patrick says, thinks that's right. Okay, log it. All right, cool. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Let me. So you want me to log it? You mean like console log it? I'm like nervous now. Every time I type something in, I'm gonna look over and Patrick's gonna type in like LOL. What are you doing? Nah, Patrick's really cool about everything and patient with me, but it's happened quite a few times. Oh, cool. You went to Patrick went to Moon Middle School for a year in 7th grade. Oh, really? Yeah, I know. Yeah, definitely been in that area plenty of times. So that's really cool. Yeah, I have cousins that went to West Allegheny High School up there. So not in the same area, Pittsburgh, obviously, but you might be familiar with that if you were up in that area. Oh, cool. Brian lives in Pittsburgh too. Awesome. Did anyone go? There was a tech conference in Pittsburgh. Did did you happen to go to that, Brian, or did you? I just found out about it like 2 days before it happened, and they had already stopped selling tickets. I really wanted to go and maybe like do some interviews like I did for a conference a couple weeks ago, but maybe next year. Okay, Patrick says this was Patrick. Patrick says I'm old. This was a long time ago. Uh, oh, actually, I keep like thinking why am I not seeing anything happening? I'm never actually calling compare location anywhere. So that actually, here's what I should do. Why not call? I said I wanted to make sure that we had the user's location before we did this, so let's just call compare location from within here. And I mean, right now this is happening right away, but it will happen once the user actually clicks on something at some point. Yeah, Brian asked which conference. I can't remember what it was called. I just saw it on Twitter. Somebody tweeted about it, but yeah, there was some sort of tech conference. They had lots of different stuff, like front end stuff, back end stuff, all different kinds of like programming things, and it looked cool. It was held at some like college, I think like community college or something, in Pittsburgh. Yeah, so it looked really cool. I'd like to go next year's. I followed the conference Twitter, so if you check out my Twitter and my followers, it should be one of the most recent accounts that I followed. I actually think it might be cool to like maybe apply to speak at that conference. I've never spoken at a tech conference, so I think that would be really cool. I mean, I used to teach, so I'm used to speaking for a long time, and I guess I do the same thing when I do my streams. So I don't think it would be like too much of a stretch for me. It might be fun. I just have to think of a good topic that might be helpful to people. All right, this compare location. All right, let's try this. I saved it, nothing happened. I saw no change at all in DevTools or anything. All right, I think that's because my server once again is frozen. Patrick says he's terrified of public speaking. More power to you and anyone who can do it. Oh well, I don't know. I've never I'm not gonna say I've never gotten like that nervous feeling beforehand, but I've never been like really nervous about public speaking before. So I guess I'm kind of lucky that I just really never had that. So it's not really any credit to me of being brave or anything because I've never really felt fear about it. So it's oh man, so that's not. Let me show you what happened. This is definitely not the result that I wanted. So I'm doing something wrong somewhere. Oh, well, yeah. Obviously, I didn't fix that. Let's see, it's giving me field to fetch. Well, actually, it's saying the fetch failed. That should not happen. That seems an unrelated issue to what we're doing. I'll show you what I'm getting. I'm getting all these errors. Let's see. Let me just get rid of this for a second. The old debugging by commenting things out. Not the most efficient way to do it, but it works eventually. Alright, so, I mean, that did at least bring this stuff back. So that's good. what is going on? Let me get rid of this. Bring it back up. Huh. Why is this happening? Okay. This is looking more useful. I probably forgot to say 39. Events just 39. Let's stay. What am I doing wrong here? It looks like I'll show you the error again, but it looks like it's saying okay, so cannot read property set state of undefined. And user lat, user long. So is this saying that this is not working? Why is this? Oh, I'm not exactly sure, but could it be since I'm calling it from in here, I also need to make this an arrow function? I'm not really sure, but why not? Why not make them all arrow functions and then they'll all match? Okay, so I didn't get the error again. So this is still the old error. So this is all the new stuff. Did not get the error. So that's good. Let me do a refresh and get rid of all this stuff just to be sure. I'll show you what I got. Okay, cool. So didn't get the error, but oh, and here we go. Got it again. So I did. It was just delayed. Hey, all right. Fabian's here. Hey, how's it going? Hey, I want to know, Fabian or Fabian, or how do you prefer your name to be pronounced? I know it's hard to type that out, but try. If you could, I would love to say it correctly, so let me know. Also, thanks for joining. Alright, Chen says, hello, I just saw the stream, but have to go now. Alright, well, thanks for stopping in for a bit. Yeah, you have a nice day too. This is what looks like LOL says, I can't speak in public, but also I need a job so that I can get surgery. Wow, I hope it's not like anything super serious, but and now the message is retracted. I'm sorry if you didn't want me to read that out. Now that I see the message is retracted. So sorry about that. Actually, just so that everybody knows, I do kind of read out the live chat a lot. So if you have something you don't really want to be read out, direct message me on Twitter. And then I won't share anything from a direct message on Twitter. If unless you tell me, like, go ahead and share it. So anyway, hopefully though, you all, if you're trying to get a job in programming, hopefully this helps you a little bit, or maybe helps you make a decision as to whether or not you want to do this. I don't claim that this is what it's like for all developers, but it's what it's like for me, and I'm a front-end developer. Transform function position to position. All right, let me move this out of here. So I'm looking. So I asked Fabian how to pronounce his name, and he just typed his name in. I So is Fabian okay? I'm really thinking there's no way that that's how people pronounce that in France. Okay, so anyway, he said transform function position to position in the arrow function. So where? Sorry for not getting this at all, but Fabian, where are you directing me to change this? Because I'm not sure. Like the error message I'm getting is for this line, but I wasn't sure if it had to do with anything I'm doing up here since I'm calling it there. You transform arrow functions to use this set state. Oh, okay. Now I see where that. You're talking about this here. I just totally didn't see that at all. Sorry about that. Now that I see this, your previous message is super clear. Shoot, you know what? I mentioned something about that earlier and then totally forgot. So. Alright, so let's try it out now. Whoa, what just happened? I got some errors here. Did I mess it up? I mean, this isn't. Whoops. Line 35. Okay, I see it. Line 35. What am I? Oh, okay. Shoot, I forgot to take out function. Sorry about that. That was a silly mistake. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sebastian. I just saw. There's a delay in the between what I'm doing and what you all see and hear. So, but Sebastian found that and let me know what it was. Do you still need? Okay, and also Bilal found it as well. Brandon says it's pronounced Fabian according to Google. Okay, so maybe I'm not that far off. What? All right, for some reason it's still showing me what I had before. Restart server. Oh, really? Sebastian says it's like a 5-second delay. That's not bad. At times it's been like more closer to a minute. So I guess that's good. Actually, the stream health has been good, the whole time. So uh, not bad. I was actually really worried because of all the thunderstorms here that I wouldn't even be able to stream because we were having power outages. But nothing has happened so far, and this has been a really long stream. All right, there we go. Okay, awesome. Let's see, make sure we have this. Great. Okay, so it did load everything. All right, let's see. Alright, so my state. See, my console log is not firing, so why am I not? I should probably... No, I don't want an error function here, right? Because I want this to be actually what's inside this. Patrick says, maybe you need to revoke geolocation auth so it will ask you again. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it should have... I guess I took that console log out, didn't I? The Git location console log. I actually want to add it back in, because I want to see if this is doing anything. I guess I don't need both latitude and longitude. I just need, oops, this state. Yeah, so this Git location. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is not working. Let me show you what happened here. So, I'm not getting that console log of the latitude like I should be. And I'm not getting anything. I wonder. I'm just gonna console log, basically anything. Yeah, it's not showing me anything. My thought right now is, what if I've exceeded the amount of times I could use this, in like, I've just refreshed the page way too many times maybe. So I'm wondering if this is just hanging and not getting down to where it needs to be to run anything else. Yep. Alright, so see, that worked when I logged that, when I put it up above here. But let's see if I can find. And I'm just going to verify that if I put it down here, it's not going to do anything. So I save that. I'm going to do a refresh. No, actually it did work this time. I don't know what happened before and why it didn't work and then it worked. Oh, okay. Sorry, Patrick. I just saw that your last message. So location. Always ask. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Awesome. So it asked. Okay, so at least, you know, this portion worked. And so then I'm assuming, but we'll check, that if I log position, that I will in fact get the position. And I'll need to, I gotta remember to keep refreshing because it's not gonna run that again. I think just if I reload the modules. There we go. There's the position, the geo position object. Great. Alright, so that is running. Alright, line 45 needs to be an arrow function. Okay, so it does. I'd considered that and then thought it might mess things up. So hopefully this is it and this fixes it. I'll bring this over so we can all see the result in the console. Okay, got that. And that's it. We should have gotten more than that, right? So we should have gotten, after this, it should have ran compare location. Which should have logged event, correct? Yes. At least. Alright, shoot. I'm starting to run out of ideas. Well, I just checked my phone. I have 11 Slack messages. Doesn't look like it's anything that's serious. I think it's all just people joking. So, not gonna look at them. Okay, so Fabian says this set state doesn't immediately change the state. Okay. So, where am I at with this set state? So we're talking about this time when I use it up here on line 37. Yilden says, do you use routes? There's a set state also reloads the DOM. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by routes, Yilden. Could you explain it a little bit more so I could give you a better answer? Try to log this state. Okay. And this is turning into, what the heck? Much more of an epic stream than I expected. I mean, I should have expected it more. I've never done this before, so. Well, my plan for the stream is I know what I want to happen, but I don't know how to make it happen. Then I should expect that it could take a while. I think my dev server just needs reset. I know I've said this a million times already, but I really need to figure out why this keeps happening. Because it's like occasionally it happens frequently and it's annoying. Sometimes I go pretty far without it happening. Okay, that should be working now. If I refresh, yeah. Oh goodness. Okay, but at least we got state. Okay, so that's what we wanted. So here we're console log the state right here on line 38. So let's see. Okay, we do in fact have user long. Okay, so we have that. So we have this state data. It has the data in it. So I kind of wish it didn't, and then we would have found the problem. Okay, Yoden is explaining what he meant. So React Router allows you to have routes for multiple pages. Just curious if you're using that. To use the React add-on for Chrome. I do have the React add-on for Chrome. But I don't use it a lot. I'm not that familiar with it. Is there something in here that would help at this point? Let me know and I'll check it out in here. I really want to know, like, should I not be able to see, like, I can see props right here. Is there any way to see state right here so I don't have to console log state? And then to answer your question, Yoden, I'm not using React Router for this project because I'm using Next.js with this project, and it comes with their own router. I am doing some custom routing, so if you check out the GitHub repo for this, look at the server.js file, you can see some of the custom routing I'm doing. I needed to do some parameterized routing because there's some like blog style pages going on. So, but basically, it's just the default routing from Next.js, with the exception of slight modifications. But I would like to learn more about React Router and other ways to do it, because I think I'm limiting myself by not, definitely by not learning that. I could be doing more. Dragos, I'm using Atom from that's from GitHub, right? Yeah, GitHub makes Atom. Okay, so let's go. So Fabian said you're logging state inside location, which is triggered seconds after calling compare location. Okay, so should we try it somewhere else? Should I try? Should I try it somewhere else? Maybe, I don't know, here or... Alright, it should be... Oh goodness, okay. So when I log it from there, there's nothing in data. Alright, so let's check this out. So inside here, it has the data. Inside here, no data. So we're actually calling get location first, and then from in there is compare location. So what's happening? What is happening between here and here that's wiping that out? Oh, okay. So Fabian is saying I need to move this function call inside here. Alright, let me refresh. Yoden says, where is your state set? Do you have a main component that is housing the state and you're accessing it from a subcomponent? Alright, so that did it in terms of, now we're getting data here. Alright, but now we cannot read property lat of undefined, and that's on line 48. So we're getting somewhere because that's a new error. Alright, so in here, event ACF location map. Oh shoot, I know what's happening. I don't have these set for all of the events because we only did it for 3 of the events. So it's iterating through the first 3, and once it gets to 4, it's saying this is undefined. So I guess I need to let me see what it looks like if I don't have it. So here's the what's this looks like. So let me scroll down a bit, find one that doesn't have this. So ACF. Okay, so it just doesn't have it at all. So if I check for ACF has one property. So I'm going to do this and say if, I don't know, there may be a better place to put this if statement. So this, event dot ACF dot has property. That's the right one, right? Has own property. I don't know why it didn't autofill that for me. And then we want location map. Then we want to do that. Okay, so that should at least get rid of that error because it won't attempt to read that. Assuming that that was the right name for that function. Brandon says, I think Fabian's on the right track. Try moving compare location call to within the geolocation callback. Pedro says it's not really an IDE, it's just Visual Studio Code. So this is referring to Atom. Actually, Pedro, I'm using Atom, and you're right. Yeah, Atom. It's not really an IDE. It's just a code editor. But yeah, I mean, oh nice. I didn't even see what happened because I was paying attention there. But that is awesome. It's progress. All right, great. So yeah, this is good. So we can see that was what was happening. The first 3 actually have values. And okay, so we see here So it did its thing, it did the math, and it actually added now distance to event. So this is now exactly where we want it on this object. So now we can sort by this. So actually, let me see. Where am I? I want to double check the state. So I don't need this anymore here because that worked. But I want to check the state at the end here. Just to be sure. Right, and let's see. Let me check this one. There we go. Okay, so we do have it. It is there. Awesome. So I guess I don't need this then, because the state is. Yeah, Yoden said this is where TDD saves your sanity. So test-driven development. You are correct. I definitely want to learn how to do test-driven development and use it, and it would definitely be worth the time spent in learning it. Yeah, okay, so Emilio asked, the way you fixed is that some events don't have a Latin long, right? Yeah, actually, I don't think I really explained what I was doing, so sorry about that. When I did, we were getting an error, and it was saying, like, basically it can't find, I forget what the exact error was, but basically it was telling me that this did not exist for some of these events. Which made sense because I didn't actually put in a value for some of those events. So when I did this, so I checked the API data, just the raw data here. Let me bring it on the screen just to step you through what happened. So I checked it here and I saw that ACF, you could see it didn't even have like a blank value or anything. It just didn't have it at all. It did not have that field. So I went in and said, if event.acf has own property location map. So this basically says if this is even a property here, it's just like it says, right? So then go ahead and do this calculation. Otherwise, just skip down to do the return event. And then that ensures that it's not looking for this when it doesn't exist, and then that fixed the error. Okay. Emilio asks, I was wondering, does the Google API puts the data when creating the new event and setting the address? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, Emilio. Could you explain a little bit more so I can give you a good answer, please? Okay, so Patrick's saying you can do an else on the check for location map, add distance to event to those without it, and set it to infinity. Then at the end of your map sort, do your sort. Oh, okay. So basically saying if an event doesn't have a location, it's gonna show up at the end then. Fabian says, you're mutating the state without calling set state. React won't be aware something has changed. Patrick says, you're very close to having this done. I'm glad about that. Oh, Emilio says, where does the Latin longitude come from for the events? Oh, okay, yeah. So I'll show you. So here's what it is coming from. So I have here in WordPress a Google map where you can put in the city, and then so you put it in there, and then what you get from the API is, assuming you put it in, you get this here, and that information has come from the Google Maps API of the latitude and longitude. So that's where I get that data from. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so got a little Patrick saying map is a pure function. Where is he mutating state directly? And Fabian says event object is updated. So we're talking about, where am I at? Here. Alright, Patrick replied, right, but map is pure, so it is operating on a copy. Emilio says, got it, thanks. Alright, awesome. I'm glad I answered your question. Yilden said, I'd learn MobX or Redux for way better state management. Using set state has its flaws. Yeah, I want to go with MobX. I was at a conference recently, and I listened to a talk about Redux and MobX, showing like the differences between them and how to basically comparing like how you would do the same thing in both. And I think I definitely want to go with MobX. So when I get a chance, I want to learn that. Yoden says mutating state is dangerous anyway. All right, so there's some discussion going on about this portion, in particular this, in that would React be able to pick up on this change in state? Right? Is that the... yeah, I think that's it. So I think Fabian's saying that since I didn't use this set state to change the state here, React won't know about it. So should I then, instead of setting it here, should I use set state? Would that fix it? Could I use set state inside of this, and would it work? If, let's say, I just changed this to set state and then made a distance to event. At this point, I think I'll just try it and see if it works. So This set state. Distance to event. Oh, okay. Now I got some answers. So probably shouldn't have done that. Patrick says mutate all your data, then set state. Fabian says you need to clone event objects. Alright, so let me get rid of what I just did here. Oops. Alright, so we need to mutate everything. And then use set state to update it all at once instead of trying to update it every time for every event, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's saying. Okay, so let's not need to clone event objects. Yoden says, this is why MobX and immutable state makes things a lot cleaner and easier to manage. Lots of tutorials around. Yeah. Yoden, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. If you haven't seen any of the previous streams, sorry, I gotta get some water. My throat's starting to get really sore. So basically the story is for this site is it was a surprise project that I did not expect. It was someone else's project. An outside company was supposed to do it, and basically it ended up that it needed to launch and I needed to be able to do it really quickly. So yeah, so I mean, if I had more time, I would have done this differently. And there are definitely areas where I would say, like, I made decisions based on what could be done more quickly, and that was based on what I already knew how to do, knowing that I didn't have the time to properly learn something new. So, but I definitely do want to learn MobX. So the next time I do a project like this, which there are several projects in the future that will probably use the same kind of setup, I will definitely try to learn MobX and incorporate that. Okay, Patrick says, my bad, I totally whiffed on the clone step. Actually, Patrick, I kind of think like probably an hour ago at this point, you were mentioning something about that, doing something similar to that. So I think I erased that part that we were attempting to do, so it's probably my fault. Yoden says you have a store file and all your status there, and then you use dispatch. Yeah, okay, cool. So Yoden was describing MobX. So yeah, I'll have to look. I took a lot of notes at the talk that I went to that talked about MobX, and hopefully they're going to release the videos for that talk at some point. It was SyntaxCon was the conference, so then maybe I can watch the video again. Or check out a lot of the other video tutorials. Fabian says it's important to clone because set state will compare old state with new one. But if you alter the old state, React won't be able to know what really changed. Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask probably a noobish question here, but just for the sake of getting this done on time, what's the best way, like how should I clone this in terms of like what syntax? do I use? Yoden also asks, on this site, do you know the users, because IE11 still does not support ES6 classes unless you use Babel. So yeah, I am using Babel. So Next.js automatically handles a lot of that stuff. So I actually don't. Yeah, we tested this site in IE11 at some point. I think we went through some testing. So yeah, we did. So it doesn't. Actually, the worst part of the site is some of the CSS, because I'm using Flexbox for some things, and that doesn't work in IE11. So yeah, so I mean, realistically, my boss is not concerned about me making things work in IE11. His viewpoint is it would probably be better for people to just update their browsers anyway, if possible. So, and they're probably used to other parts of the internet not working correctly. So, it somewhat does depend on our audience, though, realistically. But in general, if it's not going to cause a huge problem with our audience, it does seem almost like I don't know, in kind of in a way, it seems like it's better. I'm torn between this, because part of me is like, don't support IE11 and put the pressure on everyone to upgrade IE11 and use something that's better, and I mean, let's face it, more secure, right? I mean, you have less of a chance of getting malware and stuff if you have a newer browser too. So it's not just like, I want to do cool stuff, forget your old browser. It's people need a reminder that you should be updating these things. But then the other part of me is like, I want everybody possible to be able to have the best experience on my site, so I want to support all these older browsers. So I'm a little bit torn between the two. So I just kind of consider who the audience is, and like, when I make sites internally for the university here, I have no problem just throwing up like a pop-up at the beginning saying like, hey, you're using an old browser, you need to update this, because I mean, that's a security issue. Like, I've had people using insanely old browsers, like browsers that haven't been updated in 7 years, and that's just unacceptable. Like, at the university, I have gotten like bug reports, and it says that they're using browsers that are 7 years old, and that's just crazy. We can't have browsers that are 7 years old running on our computers here at the university. So at some point, we just have to force people to update. So anyway, so sorry for the rant on the side there. Okay, so Fabia did answer my question. That was more to the point before I went on my little sidetracking thing here. So he's saying, oh, cool, you're using the spread operator? Yeah, awesome. Always love an excuse to use new features. All right, so let's do this. So Fabian, where are we at? Const event clone event. Okay, so let's do. I'm assuming this has to be in here. This seems like the only reasonable place to put it to me. Not that I thought that much about it, but const event clone equals cool. Okay. Alright, so this is the spread operator. Oh, Yoden says spread operators love and template strings. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree with you 100%. Okay, so number one, is this actually where I was supposed to put it? I think so. Number two, we have event cloned. So does that mean now I should change this to event cloned? And then at some point after I've changed event cloned, then I set state. I think I got this now. Or I have the concept of what's happening now. Let's try. Where am I at? And now data map event return event cloned, and this set state events. Oops, is this what I really want? No, because I don't have event. I want yeah, this isn't what I want. I messed up at some point, right? Okay, I did forget. There we go. Clone event, cloned, distance to event. All right, now we're returning from this event cloned. Great. And now am I good? So on line 50, do I have the right idea here of... All right, Andre says there's an error on line 44. What I got? Let's see. Saying objects are not iterable. Anyway, hi Andre, welcome. I don't remember seeing you commenting before. If you have, sorry. But anyway, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for helping out. Okay, spread operators for arrays. Okay, and this is not arrays. Oh, it is first time? Awesome, Andre. Well, welcome. I appreciate you watching. Is this your first time? In case you didn't realize it already, I don't claim to be an expert. This is just me doing my daily work, and occasionally, like today, I attempt to do something that I really have no idea how to do, and usually everybody in the live chat gives me a lot of help. Sometimes I do things where I really do know what I'm doing, and it's probably more useful to everyone watching. This is one of the days where I'm getting a lot of benefit from your expertise. All right, awesome. So Fabian's saying the spread operator works also with objects now. Cool. Okay, so my last question, I think I've changed events. Nope. I need to change it. I guess it doesn't really matter if I change it here or not, but I'm going to just for consistency. Event clone. Okay. If not, use cloned equals object assigned event, and it's the same. Okay, so Fabian's giving an alternative in case the spread operator is not going to work for this. So, I mean, actually, I guess I can. This is state event. Wait a second. Alright, here's where I am. Oops. Sorry. This set state. I missed a few things in the live chat here. I gotta go back and see what's going on. Patrick says this dot set state new data, and Fabian says, and finally this dot set state dot data new date. Patrick, don't forget to name the property in this case. Yes. And Philip asks, what do you use to expose advanced custom fields to the WP API? There's a plugin for, I mumbled that, sorry. Philip asks, what do you use to expose advanced custom fields in the WordPress API? There is a plugin to expose advanced custom fields. So I don't remember which plugin I use for sure. So I can check it out when I finish this. I kind of want to finish this right now before I go back to the WordPress thing. But if you stick around for a couple of minutes, hopefully it only takes a few minutes to get this working, and then I can check WordPress for you before I end the stream. Okay, Patrick's new day data though. Yoden said, I tried to use spread on an object. It doesn't work. Patrick says, we're using a transpiler. And Yoden says, yes. Oh, okay. Philip just says, was wondering if I wrote the plugin or if there was a plugin. Yeah, I didn't write that plugin. I got it from somewhere else. So that'll compile. Okay. All right, so there's a big discussion still about the in the live chat about the spread operator and whether or not this will work. So actually, let's just check this out. Hopefully I didn't do a lot to break. Shoot. I did too much to break this. So just gonna get rid of this for now just so I can see. What is going on? Okay, URL. Whoops. I need, and actually I need this stuff. Okay. That should do it. Oh shoot, what is the problem here? Okay, so just to, I don't know if this will help your discussion about the spread operator, but basically I am console logging event cloned just to see what it's giving me. And here's what I get. I get this object here with all my stuff. Is that what, Fabian, is that what you were expecting to see? Okay, so basically, yeah, sorry everybody, I kind of ignored the live chat for a minute because I just thought there's definitely one way to solve this discussion. Just console log it and see what's going on. Okay, so at least we now know that yes, indeed, we do have a copy of event. Now, so here's my question. So this part I'm assuming is correct. The part that I'm still I don't know about is now I need to, after this all happens, I need to set the state. How do I do it? And I'm sorry if you've already put this in the live chat. This is one of those times where I'm honestly slightly lost right now, so please be patient with me. I will say this though, when I do streams like this, where I am kind of lost for a lot of the time, I learn a lot, and I often don't really need like the next time I do it, I remember it and can look back and do it. So, all right. So, Fabian saying, and Patrick are both saying this. Which okay, now that you put that in there, I remember you both pasted something like you pasted that in before, or you wrote that in before. So sorry for making you do that again. So is this the right location for this? I mean, I'm gonna save it and just see if I get a bunch of errors. All right, lots of errors. No, Yoden says struggle helps. Yes, it does, for sure. I mean, it takes a long time. It can be painful, but it takes a long time. Okay, so, all right, so Patrick's saying, yes, this is the right place to do that. Oh my goodness. Now, it just clicked for me. So, in case it was confusing to anyone else watching, here's what just clicked for me. And this may have been obvious to you, but the whole time I'm thinking like that I'm going to have to say set state, and somehow I'm going to set the state of event to event clone. But then it occurred to me like, wait a second, there is no state event, right? This doesn't make any sense. Forgetting completely that this whole thing we named new data, right? So anyway, yeah. So I just needed to set data to new data and not. Anyway, so hopefully you can see that that I finally just realized that. So anyway, I wish I would have seen that like 15 minutes ago. Oh well, I've been staring at this for a long time now. So okay, but I am all right. Let me show you the errors that I'm getting right now. And so unexpected character at line 50 for the set state data new data. um, Fabian says we had some people asking about my my code editor again. Um, Fabian says put Adam in the FAQ. I have it in the description actually, so I don't mind people asking about it, but today it's actually like every half hour or so I think somebody asks about it, which is totally cool. I mean, somebody who's never watched the show before, the stream obviously wouldn't know. I kind of like that more people new. It tells me that new people are joining because they're asking about the editor. Patrick says, to be fair, I'm not talking, commenting, answering questions, typing while trying to code. You have the harder job here. Yeah. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Thanks for that, Patrick. I will say, like, for sure, I definitely work faster when I'm not streaming. But I think it's a good trade-off because I learn a lot when I do streams like this. So I think the long run net effect is that a lot more gets done, and the end result is a lot better than it would have been if I would just kind of do my own thing all the time and not stream. Especially with some of the pull requests that you all have submitted, they're just really amazing, and I actually I go through line by line and try to understand what you're doing, and I've learned a lot from that. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I showed you my my error here. So I got something going on with this set state. Maybe I messed something up when I was changing some things. Let me see. Okay, so that's good. We have this. Oops. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, am I missing? I think I'm missing a paren. No, I wasn't. It was right here. I was mistaken. So that, yeah, this is closed. This is closed. All right, so it's not like some obvious, like missing curly bracket. Okay, I'm gonna check. Fabian says yes, courage, Jesse. Brandon says streaming is smart. You get free help while getting paid to do the job. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like to think that I help people too, but you are right, Brandon. A lot of times I'm getting help. I'm getting a lot of help, and it's true. I'm getting paid for it. That's why I did have, when I first started streaming, I had some people ask about like giving me donations and stuff, and I mentioned a couple times I'm getting paid right now because this is my regular work. So I don't really feel like I should take any money if I'm getting paid to do this. At some point, if I start doing like lots of streams like from home on my free time, then maybe I'll think of some way to make money off of it. If anything, just because I guarantee if I spent my time at home doing streams and videos, my wife would get upset pretty quickly. But at least if I could say like, hey, I'm bringing in more income, she would be a little bit happier. I don't think she's listening to this. If you are listening back then, you could let me know if that's the case. Oh, okay. Fabian, all right. I did copy. So Fabian says, did you copy this state from chat? It seems an invisible character has been put in. Yes. Yeah, okay. That explains it. So that's why I say unexpected character, and it just has this right here. Okay, so awesome. So let me just get rid of all this, and I'll type it out, and then that way I should be pretty sure that I'm going to do it. So this dot set state, and I'm going to go data, new data. Okay. You can see I'm still trying to break myself with the semicolon habit. If you notice, occasionally when I get to the end like this, I tab over. I go over because I'm getting ready to put the semicolon in, but I've stopped myself. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I'm not getting that error again. I got a different error, but I don't think it's I don't think it's affecting the page negatively. Alright, so let's check this out. Let me show you what I got. I got this error, but I think that's at events 4. What the heck is it events 4? Oh, it's something about the sticky nav. Yeah, that's probably just has something to do with the hot module reloading, and so occasionally I get weird errors with that. But of course I never get them, on the live site because I'm not doing the hot module reloading there. Okay, that's better. Cool. So let's now that we have this sets data, new data. Okay. Awesome job, Fabian, at catching that, by the way, because that was definitely the problem. Umberto says, yay for non-display characters. I'm currently doing a lot of parsing on /n/a and /f in my current project. Okay, so at this point, I really wanted to actually get the sorting working, but honestly, it's like almost 6 o'clock p.m. at my time, and I got in like, I'm trying to think how long I've been here at this point. I'm definitely way past the amount of time that I am supposed to work, and I expect that my wife is wondering where I am. So I think I'm going to cut it short. I really hate to leave it like right in the middle like this, especially since I'm not going to stream for a while. So I'm going to do my best when I don't know, I probably won't get to it till after I get back from vacation, but I want to do my best to actually now make this work with the sorting. And thanks. Actually, Patrick says sort AB. A distance to event, B distance to event, A dot distance to event. Okay, so actually maybe I will sort it because Patrick just gave me what I need in here. So let's see, data. So Patrick, if I do the sorting. All right, so let me paste in what Patrick just so everybody can see this. Patrick just pasted this in, but you need an else on location map that sets the distance to event on others. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm not gonna have time to implement this, so I'm going to leave this in here like this, just so that. I mean, normally I don't really like leaving in like partial code and commenting it out, but in this case, this is probably the best place for me to put it, so I'll actually remember. So at least I'll know where to go from. So this he has said, put it above set state, which makes sense. So that basically, if you're watching, just for explanation of. In case I don't finish this in a stream and I just do it on my basically, if we sort before we set new data, then React of course picks up on the change in data, and since down here we're actually rendering these. Sorry, I gotta scroll all the way down. These events. So we're rendering this data in these events. So if the order of this data, if anything in data changes, then React's going to re-render these. So if we change the order based on location and state, React picks up on the state change, and then these will automatically reorder, and that's exactly what we want to happen. So basically, that is the last step in this process, is simply sorting by distance before we set this, and then at that point when this gets set, everything will re-render, it'll work. So so Patrick's saying, but you need an else on location map that sets the distance to event on others. What I'm gonna do, I think, is either have the person who's in charge of content go in and set the location for everything, so I won't have to worry about not having a location in there, or I'll just go in and do it myself. And then I'm gonna make that a required field, so every new event added in, they have to put the location on it. I don't think there's going to be anything like an online event or anything where there wouldn't be a location, so I think I can get away with setting that as mandatory, and then I won't have to worry about it. And that'll save me the time from having to put that in the code anyway. Yeah, Brandon says, should always check for null anyways, can never depend on your users, and a thumbs up for that. Yeah, if I do, if I make it a required field, then they won't actually even be able to make a new event unless they set the field. So if there were to be an error, it would be either like the Google API stopped working, like maybe I hit my limit on that, or something. So actually, there could be an instance where maybe something happens with the Google API messing up. So I will do that. Let me add this. Alright, so Patrick's saying add infinity. How do I make something infinity? This is another one of those questions that I'm just like, I probably should know this. I'm sure this is one of those like questions in JavaScript basics that I just don't know because I always jumped around when learning things to just learn whatever I needed for the project that I was doing. And I have gaps in my education. Math infinity? Okay. Cool, thank you. That makes sense. And I mean, honestly, I probably could. Sorry I even asked that. I definitely could have looked that up. So, Oh, you don't even need math? So you could, so I can just do infinity then? That's really cool. Alright, so yeah, actually, that's legit. Check this out in the console. So, infinity is infinity. Awesome. So, sweet. So that should work. Cool. That's cool. I learned so many new things, new and useful things today. So I am going to make sure I commit this and push it to the Git repo, because if I need to or want to work on this on vacation, I'll definitely need it in the repo, because I can't take my iMac with me. Alright, so just want to make sure it's I probably don't need to do this, but I always type git status, like almost always, just to make sure that I didn't accidentally edit any other files without realizing it. So and I'm trying to think, what if it's been so long we've been working on this, so I want to make sure I remember what we did. Our last commit was what was that? We didn't have a last commit, did we? Okay, get user location. I thought we did. So we have get user location. So now it's going to be all right. That works. That pretty much sums up what we did. It's crazy that all that work summed up in such a short commit message. But I still feel good that we did it. And by we, I mean mostly you, and I did the typing. Whoa. What errors? Figures. It figures. I thought I was done, and now I have errors. Where's my errors? Irregular white space? Seriously? Irregular white space? Well, at least it tells me exactly where. So JS56. So is it because it's because of this stuff? What is this white? Where is my irregular white space? I don't even know. Does anybody know what the heck it's doing to me for irregular white space? Alright, let me see. Let me check the live chat. You all don't have to watch me figure out these errors, because this is not like major errors. Everything works. It's just I have some weird white space somewhere that I have to find. So let me check really quick in the chat. I'm probably not going to go through the whole chat this time to answer questions for two reasons. One, I'm really tired and I need to just be done. Also, like, this stream has been so long, there probably aren't that many people that have been here since the beginning, so they might not even be around to hear the answers. So I am going to save this live chat and then read through it later on and try to answer that maybe in a future live stream, or put it in the comments to this video or something like that. Alright, so Andre has a quick question. Which setting did you use in order to be able to use the spread operator on objects? When I use it in Chrome DevTools, it does not work. let's see. Okay, Patrick gave the answer that I was going to give. Yeah, so all the Babel transpiling stuff that I'm doing right now is built in Next.js. I haven't done anything with that, so I'm not sure exactly what they have going on. It probably says in their documentation. So I'm assuming that they are allowing, they're transpiling pretty much, the cutting edge. Since I've never used anything that hasn't worked in terms of newer JavaScript stuff. So whatever flavor of Babel they're using uh, is covers most things, at least everything I've tried. Let's see. Oh, okay. I copy and pasted. Okay, Shah, thank you so much. So evidently, I copied and pasted this line from the chat, which I need to just quit that because it keeps messing me up. So maybe that'll solve it. Let's see. Shoot, it's happening again. But actually, I didn't think about this before, but it is telling me it's line, what is it, line 56, 40? So where am I at? $40. Whoa. Oh man, that's weird. Do you guys see that? So I can click here. This is really weird. So I'm going to click 3 times and watch what happens. I click 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Between that second and third click, it doesn't move. So that's definitely it. And hopefully this isn't... Okay, looks like that one works. That is so weird. I've never seen that. There we go, and that worked. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. So everything we just did is now up in the repo on GitHub under the Geolocation branch, so you can check it out if you want to. All right, so thank you to everyone. This was insanely a long stream, and thanks to everybody who stuck around. What was this, like a 4-hour stream? I can't believe that. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk a lot at the end of this one. Thanks, and I will see you all. I'll be back a week, not next week, but the week after. I should be back on Monday. Yeah, thanks everybody. I really appreciate. Have a great day, and have a great weekend and next week, and then I'll see you later. And I'll be on Twitter and in the IRC room and stuff like that. So you got any questions or anything like that, just message me on Twitter. I'll be around.